Former President Donald Trump enters the second day of his trial.
Car assembly lines are being affected by one technological shortage.
The city of Fort Worth has one area great for nature lovers.
Broadcasting live from the University of North Texas, this is ntTV News at Noon.
Thanks for joining us on ntTV News at Noon. I'm Jake Evans.
And I'm Cami Farrell. The U.S. Senate decided yesterday that the trial of former President Donald Trump is constitutional. Senators will listen to arguments from both sides in the coming days. Nadia Romero has more on this story.
A history-making moment.
Hear ye, hear ye, hear ye.
Donald Trump is now the first president to face a Senate impeachment trial twice.
The Senate will convene as a court of impeachment
Against Donald John Trump, former president of the United States.
Trump's title, former president, front and center. House managers and Trump's team of lawyers debate if the trial itself is constitutional.
The Senate lacks jurisdiction to conduct this trial of a former president, a president no longer in office and now a private citizen.
Presidents can't commit grave offenses in their final days and escape any congressional response.
Senators determined the trial will move forward.
The yeas are 56, the nays are 44. The Senate shall proceed with the trial.
The single charge, incitement of insurrection, stems from the deadly chaos at the Capitol. A month later, barricades and troops stand guard outside as senators turn jurors to hear arguments and watch video inside from the place they were forced to flee.
We were all witnesses.
Just like the impeachment proceedings in the House, the Senate trial is expected to be fast. House impeachment managers hope for conviction and the opportunity to ban Trump from ever seeking federal office again.
I don't think President Trump will be convicted.
Especially since it will take a two-thirds majority, 67 senators, to convict.
It will be interesting to see how the next few days play out as the opening arguments in the trial begin today. In other trial news, we sat down with Dr. Gloria Cox, the professor of political science here at UNT, to discuss what could happen if the impeachment trial fails to go through and if Trump can run again.
Last person to bet against him in 2024. And especially because he has all this time and he can spend his time building up his campaigns.
As the trial continues, we will keep you posted on all the updates involving the former president.
President Joe Biden is moving ahead with his COVID-19 relief bill as the Senate trial gets underway. Biden announced he is moving forward with the $1.9 trillion relief package and plans to support the Democrats' bill that would send $1,400 checks to Americans making more than $75,000 a year. The administration also announced yesterday that they will increase vaccine supply to states to 11 million doses a week. Biden is still pushing for schools to reopen in the upcoming weeks, but the CDC has yet to release guidelines for their reopenings. Honda has raised its full-year profit forecast more than 20%, a surprising move as automakers face a shortage of microchips. CNN's Christy Liu Stout is in Hong Kong with updates on the shortage.
It's so easy to take them for granted. The tiny silicon-based semiconductors that fuel our modern lives, our smartphones, our laptops, and our cars. Now, the average car has between 50 to 150 chips that are used to monitor important engine and safety systems, along with GPS navigation or driver assistance when you try to parallel park. But when the pandemic hammered auto sales last year, top chip makers shifted capacity away from car makers to gadget makers, resulting in a critical shortage of car chips that's been called Chipageddon.
1 million cars could actually be lost in the coming months. So that's quite a lot. If you take the average value of a car, which might be, say, what, $20,000, $30,000 maybe dollars, it would actually lead to about 20 to 30 billions in lost revenue.
There is a growing list of automakers cutting production because of the chip crunch. In Japan, you have Subaru, Toyota, Honda, and Nissan. And in the U.S., Ford and GM. Now, in a statement, GM says this, quote, despite our mitigation efforts, the semiconductor shortage will impact GM production in 2021. We're currently assessing the overall impact, but our focus is to keep producing our most in-demand products. As the chip crunch disrupts production, analysts say it may delay a global recovery in the auto sector. U.S. senators are urging the White House to take action. In a letter sent earlier this month, 15 U.S. senators from auto-producing states warned that the shortage threatens our post-pandemic economic recovery. It's also a diplomatic issue. To resolve the shortage, the U.S. is working with Taiwan, home of TSMC, the world's largest contract chip maker. The Taiwan chip giant says the auto chip shortage is its top priority, saying this, quote, TSMC is currently expediting these critical automotive products through our wafer fabs. While our capacity is fully utilized with demand from every sector, TSMC is reallocating our wafer capacity to support the worldwide automotive industry, unquote. As Taiwan pledges help, a warning from the other chip-making giant in Asia. Samsung Electronics says the auto chip shortage could hit smartphones. And if you're planning a new purchase, consider this.
If you need something, just buy it now if it's on stock. Otherwise, unfortunately, you'll have to wait another 3 to 6 months according to our latest working estimates.
Huge ripple effects are being felt across tech, auto manufacturing, and the global economy, all from a tiny piece of silicon. Christy Liu Stout, CNN, Hong Kong.
Jake, I don't know about you, but this winter weather sure does make me want to stay inside.
Me too. I don't think I'll ever get used to this cold Texas weather. Let's take it to Danielle Zachary for our first look at weather.
Thanks, Jake. Right now, we are currently experiencing winter conditions with a temperature of speed of 12 miles per hour. And tomorrow, you'll be experiencing with a temperature of 34 degrees with a feels like 30 and a wind speed of 15 miles per hour. That's it for First Look. Cammie, Jake, back to y'all at the desk.
Thanks, Danielle. Well, with the freezing weather expected tomorrow, Denton County officials are changing things up a bit as the Denton County Public Health announced they will cancel appointments for tomorrow's COVID-19 vaccine clinic at Texas Motor Speedway. Anyone who was set to receive their second dose tomorrow has had their appointment rescheduled for Friday. Residents who were previously scheduled for Friday's clinic have been pushed into next week.
Speaking of getting your COVID vaccine, Star Transit is offering free rides to Mesquite residents to get their vaccines. The transit agency is offering to take anyone with registered appointments to any vaccination site in Dallas County. Rides are available Monday through Friday from 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. and Saturdays from 7 a.m. to 6 p.m. Reservations should be made at least one day in advance.
When we come back, we'll tell you how you can stay safe while dating online.
And about how the UNT Police Department is helping our environment. Stay with us.
Well, like everything during the pandemic, the dating scene has had quite the change.
That's right, Cammie. Our reporter, Bella Quintanilla, has some pandemic dating tips for all of us. Bella?
Thanks, guys. With Valentine's Day just around the corner, everyone is using online dating websites to find their perfect Valentine. While this is the perfect way to meet people during a pandemic, we want to make sure you are staying safe. Before meeting up with someone, make sure you get to know them and keep an eye out for any red flags. It also doesn't hurt to do a little research on them. If you do decide to meet up with someone, always meet in a public place and make sure that someone knows where you are at all times. You should arrange your travel plans beforehand, but keep your phone on you in case something changes. During the date, watch how much personal information you share and always trust your gut. And lastly, just remember to have fun.
The Mean Green Police Department is going even greener. The department is introducing 6 new eco-friendly vehicles. The new vehicles are estimated to save more than $3,000 annually. UNT Police Captain Jeremy Polk said, quote, UNT has a clearly established mission with green philosophies like the We Mean Green Fund. We knew we could help in that area by moving to hybrid patrol vehicles once they became available.
UNT is known for its outstanding arts department, but even more outstanding than that is getting your art into the Smithsonian. And now UNT can boast a professor that did just that.
That is UNT's art building.
Art,
And this
not based on like an image
is Miss
in your
Alicia
head, but
Eggert.
based on an idea you want to communicate.
And her artwork can be found all around the world, from Beijing to Dallas. And most recently, the prestigious Renwick Gallery of the Smithsonian American Art Museum in Washington, D.C.
Cool thing about this sign that was recently acquired by the Smithsonian is that it's so true for me personally.
Miss Eggert's Smithsonian exhibition, titled This Present Moment, was inspired by reading the book The Clock of the Long Now by Stewart Brand.
That, you know, this present moment really was the unimaginable future for a long time.
And she has some advice for budding artists.
Who's going to get to see all that amazing work that you make if you don't put the time and the effort into getting it out there and sharing it with the world, right? So that's the advice that I always try to give my students is that stuff that isn't as fun to do because they really just want to be in the studio is like equally as important.
Professor Eggert's artwork will debut at the Renwick Gallery as part of the museum's 50th anniversary exhibition in 2022.
Jake, I think the question we need to be asking is it going to snow this week?
We haven't had any snow for a while. Danielle, is it going to snow?
Well, you can definitely expect that in our forecast later this week. But right now, let's take a look across the area. Right now, we are currently experiencing temperatures from the mid-20s to the low 30s, with it being 31 degrees in Dallas, 28 degrees in Fort Worth, and 31 degrees in Paris, Texas. Right now, let's take a look across the state where we are currently experiencing low temperatures across the north in Amarillo, with Amarillo and Oklahoma City experiencing temperatures at 19 degrees. And as you can see in the south, they're experiencing 39 degrees in Austin and 65 degrees in Houston. Now let's take a look at that 7-day forecast. We'll be experiencing a high of 33 and a low of 27 on Wednesday with a very wintry mix. And on Thursday as well, we'll be experiencing a high of 34 and a low of 24 with a 40% chance of rain. On Friday and Saturday, we'll be experiencing cloudy skies with a high of 31 and a low of 23 on Friday, and a high of 29 and a low of 14 with a 20% chance of rain on Saturday. And on Monday, we'll be experiencing Monday and Tuesday we'll be experiencing temperatures in the mid-20s and the low 10s with a wintry mix. And on Wednesday, we'll be experiencing more partly sunny skies with a temperature of 31 and a low of 23. That's a look at the first weather. Back to y'all at the desk.
With the weather being cold, it may be hard to get out and enjoy nature, as well as boating. ntTV's Nomi Sanchez had a chance to get to Fort Worth for a great place to soak up some nature.
Listen up, all my nature lovers. If lakes, walking trails, and parks are something of interest to you, then the Longhorn Benbrook Lake is sure to impress.
With a lake as vast as the view can see, Longhorn Park is good for fishing, picnicking, or just for watching the sunset. One of the best features, though, has got to be the trails, which run for many miles. Their true beauty comes later at night, though, when the sun sets and the city lights come on.
One thing not many people may know about this park, though, is that apart from its scenic views, Longhorn Park is home to the Army Corps of Engineers, which actually reside right here in this building behind me, and their job is pretty much to regulate lake levels when they get too high or too low.
Fort Worth residents have even shown their love for this park through social media, from camping to fishing to even showing a pup's first snow. With COVID still around, this park has offered residents a way to go out without worry. Here's how Longhorn Park has kept locals busy.
The main thing that I do when I come here is look at the scenic views and the sunset that they have, and I also go on the hiking trails. And during the summer, I go down into the boat unloading station and I take out my
Well, with the weather expected to take a turn for the worse, we probably won't be heading out there anytime soon, but I'm excited to check it out in the future.
Germany is still pressing charges for Holocaust-related crimes.
And Dallas Mavericks owner Mark Cuban is in the news. Found out why when we come back from the break.
Last week, a 94-year-old woman was arrested for working as a secretary for the Nazi Party during the Holocaust. Then this week, German prosecutors charged a 100-year-old man who worked as a guard during World War II. These arrests come as a diminishing ripple of prosecutions related to the Nazi war crimes last century. Alex Drakel, the director of Brandon Byrne Memorial's Foundation, said, quote, "These cases are important contextually, but also symbolically." The brewing company Heineken is planning to lay off 8,000 employees as a result of the COVID-19 virus. The 8,000 workers make up around 10% of the company's workforce globally. The brewing company said they will save around $2.4 billion over the next 2 years as they try to combat the almost 17% loss in revenue from 2020. The news doesn't come as a shock as bars and restaurants have been closed due to COVID-19 restrictions limiting Heineken's sales.
Tough break for Heineken. Cami, are you a fan of space?
Of course, and I know our segment reporter Marjorie Morales has a fun story about that. Right, Marjorie?
UNT researchers discovered a way to measure the lifespan and birth of stars. They say that stars are dancing to their own tune, which helped discover their birth and evolution. Dr. Yuan Lee and doctoral student Chung Ha, along with a team of researchers, discovered a turbulent pattern among Orion's connected star groups to trace their interstellar gas.
Basically, when you look at a star, usually you only see their position in the sky. Right, you don't have the distance from.
And it all turned out becoming a research breakthrough. Dr. Lee says that with the help of Marina Cargill's data, they used turbulence and interstellar gas to estimate parameters. With this information, they were able to get precise observable data to track a star's exact position movement with eliminated uncertainties in prior research. Dr. Lee says that this discovery will not only help us understand stars, but planets, galaxies, and even the universe. The team's research has been published in Astrophysical Journal Letters. If students are interested in learning more about galaxies and cosmology, Dr. Lee will be teaching a new astronomy course this coming fall. Back to you guys at the desk.
Dallas Mavericks owner Mark Cuban has decided to refrain from playing the national anthem before home games this year. The Mavericks have not played the anthem at any home games this year, but because of how TV broadcasts run, many fans haven't even noticed. The Mavericks didn't allow fans to attend the first 10 games of the season and only allowed 1,500 vaccinated frontline workers for their game against the Timberwolves on February 8th. Cuban has not commented on whether or not he will play the anthem in the future.
Well, Cami, I'm bummed I didn't get to see UNT and SMU's women's soccer game last night.
Me too. Our sports anchor, Jennifer Holberg, will definitely tell us why they didn't play.
Thanks, guys. When we come back, we will update you on the UNT women's soccer season opener and take a look at the Dallas Stars season to date. last night, the UNT women's soccer team season opener against SMU was sadly canceled. This was due to a positive COVID test and contact tracing within the Mustang program. The game was originally scheduled for this past Sunday at 1 p.m. before being postponed and ultimately canceled. The Mean Green hope to finally start their season this Friday, where they are undefeated in openers since 2005. This game will be at home versus Midwestern State. The men's basketball team split their games this past weekend versus Louisiana Tech. Friday night, the Mean Green barely lost to the Bulldogs, ending their 4-game win streak. Thomas Bell, James Reese, and Reuben Jones all had double-digit points in the loss. UNT did manage to turn it around on Saturday and beat La Tech in a close 57-55 game. James Reese led the team with 12 points and 5 rebounds. The Mean Green are currently second in the West in Conference USA and hope to stay there as they travel to Southern Miss this weekend. Moving into hockey, the Dallas Stars failed to beat the Chicago Blackhawks in overtime last night. Dallas's only goal was scored in the first period by Rupe Hintz, while Chicago scored in the second period and in overtime. The bright light for the Stars, though, was 22-year-old goalie Jake Ottinger, who had 27 saves in the game last night. The Stars hope to bounce back tomorrow night at home versus the Carolina Hurricanes. That is all I have for sports today, so back to you guys at the desk.
It's important to remember to always check the settings whenever making a video call on your computer. Just ask this Texas attorney, Rod Ponton.
Mr. Ponton, I believe you have a filter turned on in the video settings. You might want to take a look.
Can you hear me, Judge?
I can hear you. I think it's a filter.
It is, and I don't know how to remove it. I've got my assistant here. She's trying to, but I'm prepared to go forward with it. I'm here live. I'm not a cat.
I can see that. I think if you click the up arrow next to the...
Well, Cammie, I guess they're allowing cats in the courtroom now.
Jake, that is one adorable mistake. Thanks for watching ntTV News at noon.
Join us again tonight, 6 here on North Texas Television.